Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Happy Monday morning. Good morning. Good morning, McRangers. Good morning, Sterling. They should not allow cash and carry to talk early on a Monday morning, get me all riled up. I got an uptick in unemployment is bigger risk than inflation. All right, inflation affects everybody across the board. Unemployment, and I'm not saying we want unemployment to go up, but it affects a subset. It's not like you're going to go to 50% unemployment. But inflation affects everyone. So you might want to think about that. Yeah, cash and carry there. He was frosting on the cake. He got, he did not, no more caffeine. I did not need caffeine after reading his comments. See, what do these guys earn all this money for? Why do we bother having them? There's a lot of ambiguity around what the neutral rate level is, so I can't talk. You don't know. They're just guessing. They're winging it. And they wait right before an election to cut 50 basis points. It's just absurd. It's absurd. They don't know what they're doing. Good morning. It's why we just need a rule. We don't need to pay this clown show. Good morning, Patrick. Yeah, they are pumping. Let's see. How do you know it's in a tight? You don't even know where the neutral rate is. How do you know it's in a tight position? I know it's in a tight position, but I don't know where the neutral rate is. Good morning, Mark. Oh boy. Good morning, John. Good morning, PMG. What else do we have? What else? There's a lot of uncertainty about where the Fed will cut to. Why are you talking about this then? This is helpful. You're basically saying you don't know what you're doing. But trust us, we don't know what we're doing. And we got Bostic on here. The debate over the neutral is robust. Yeah, because you don't know. All right, we have the Chicago National Activity Index, 0.12, out of contraction. These indices are very volatile. Very volatile. Good morning, Richard. As long as consumer spending continues, there'll be demand for products and therefore for workers. The consumer's tapping out, and inflation's crushing the consumer, the average consumer. All right? See, this is the thing. And guess what? Inflation has taken its toll over the last 3 years. Because it's not like, fine, you're getting inflation back down. It's still, again, running closer to 3%. You know what? A lot of people don't get 3% raises a year. So come on. And it's not like it hasn't wiped out. Again, we have some disinflation, we don't have deflation. So all this stuff is cumulative. It's not like gone back to where it was before. Oh, good morning, Jacob. Good morning. Okay. Hello, Charles. I can't keep going. My head's going to explode. Good morning. And then we have Iran. Iran's going to jump in. Remember, you get the high holy holidays coming up at the beginning of October for Israel and the Jewish people. So it could get very interesting coming up in the next couple weeks. Good morning, Anissa. Oh, by the way, I'll be on Ninja Trader this morning at 10:30 Eastern. Good morning, Ted. All right. Thanks for putting all that information in, Sterling. What else? Let's take a look at the week real quick, because now we've got the rate cuts out of the way, obviously, but we also have the triple/quad witching and option expiration out of the way. And separate from, take the rate cut out of the equation. This little window, September's historically the worst month. Doesn't mean every year has to be bad. On average, it's the worst month. But I've said this before, between OPEX in September and OPEX in October is historically the worst little window. So, both those are out of the way. That does not mean, hey, it's all free and clear. Just keep that in mind. And yes, Sterling, I am thinking of extending hedges, not the same hedges, but I'll be reevaluated, but extending a hedge window probably through an election with different hedges. You asked about that before. What else we have coming up this morning? We have the PMI, S&P Composite PMI Manufacturing and Services. We got Goolsby speaking. Do we have Cash and Carry again speaking at 1, or is this just wrong time and it's out of the way? I'll have to double check on that. Tomorrow we got some house price stuff. Richmond, Fed regional indice. More house price on Wednesday and the EIA numbers, but Thursday gets big. We have the final Q2 GDP and PCE numbers. We got the unemployment numbers. We got a lot more Fed speak, including Powell speaking on Thursday. And also you have the PCE numbers for August on Friday, along with consumer sentiment, final numbers, and inflation expectations. So Thursday, Friday, backloaded this week. Keep that in mind. Got more stuff from Intel. Keep an eye on Intel. It could be trying to get with other investment coming in, could be trying to put in a longer term bottom. What else we have? Microsoft, Apple down, Tesla, Meta, Google up. Overall, in your groups this morning, consumer cyclical comm services and utilities are up. Not a lot of negatives, but I'm really paying attention to see if we're going to set up some topping patterns this week. We're about 50-50 for the rate cuts, the next one in November, and the probabilities still have down to 4 to 4.25 by December. So still pricing in some pretty substantial cuts. Greed, still in solid greed mode. PE ratio 36.63. In terms of earnings, AutoZone tomorrow, KB Homes, Micron on Wednesday, which they could miss in earnings. It'll be interesting. Costco will be interesting also on Thursday, especially their guidance. But other than that, very quiet week. Richard trusts Kugler the most. She was a banker, not just an academic. Well, you have Powell, who was a lawyer and what isn't even an economist. So, oh boy. All right. If we do break below Friday's lows, the key support level we'll be watching is 5,700. It's just where there was a pretty substantial price reaction before and the rising daily rotation zone. So those are the two things I'm watching on any pullback of Friday's lows and then 5,700. On a bigger pullback this week, I'll be watching the bottom end of the rotation zone, which is going to keep rising, but it's roughly about 56.35 to about 56.55. We stopped at the harmonic based off the continuous contract. We break above that. If we break above Thursday's highs, the next key major level is 58.71. 58.71. If you wanted to do some this is a pausing bar. So if you wanted to do your harmonic area, I'd be looking 58.48 to 58.71 as the next target area. That's what I'm looking at there. So far, basing holding above prior key resistance. The minor target based off the reverse harmonics. This is a little minors. It's stalled out just in front of there. You can see it here. Hold on. Let me zoom in this. And this is a little mini valid double below the 4-hour rotation zone. So do keep that in mind. Below 19,860 on a 4-hour close. Could see a little pullback. Other than that, if it starts getting through the 2236 areas, 2446 to 2529 is the next key target area I'm utilizing. Higher. Now that 4-hour little mini double could pull it back into the daily rotation zone, but it's got to get through some very key support now. You had prior resistance back at the end of August, broke through it last Thursday, retested and bounced on Friday, and retested a bit overnight. So it's got to get through this pretty significant support level now. The Dow stalling. This is why. This is a prime example. See, we had Tuesday after a roll, Wednesday stop, and I watched these. These are everything's tested out on a closing basis, by the way. Not trying to nail exact highs and lows, but you see how it paused out here for a little bit right there, then blew through it to the next one, and now it's paused here. So that's what's key to recognize with the harmonics. It gives you a sense where the market can react and potentially stall out. That's why I look to take actions at those points. Now, if we take out Thursday's highs, 43.088 is the next harmonic. Key supports coming in at 42.075 to 42.100. Russell, again, 2280 is still key resistance. We get through that. I'm looking at 2300 to 2305 and then 2320. Major support coming in right around 2230, 2231 area. VIX still stuck in the 16s. I'm going to be watching to see if this starts climbing, if we get any downwards pressure. Other than that, the DAX retested the rotation zone area and a prior key harmonic support area and bouncing up. Remember the next harmonic target on that, 19,257. 19,257. Again, watch this low area between overnight lows, well, the European opening lows, and the lows from Friday. That's going to be key. Notes, still holding the rotation zone, but the first target, nearly the second target's hit. If we continue down 114.09, and then the next key level is about 114 on the notes. The only thing I'll be keeping an eye on if something were to happen and we were to close back above Friday's high would be a percent B buy. Doubting that's going to happen, but keeping an eye on it. The yields, nearly first target easily hit. Second target, this is actually getting above the rotation zone today. So next target is 377 and then 380 to take us also back to the 50% harmonic from this sell-off that started at the beginning of August. So I'm going to be paying attention to, remember, this is raising. Everybody was like, hey, interest rates, now 50 basis point cuts in. Mortgage rates are going down, not interest rates. Mortgage rates are going down. No, they're actually climbing again. They're actually climbing. That's because they're tied to the 10-year. 10-2s. Look at this. Now, this is based off the futures, but this has just hit that 20 bips. 20 basis points paying close. As remember, this doesn't mean we have to tip instantly, but this is where the pressure, I don't know why, don't ask me why, but this is where it gets very key for where we set up for potential market unrest in the equities. Dollar index is also interesting. Look, it's not been able to sustain a sell-off. I'm still curious if it'll get a close above the rotation zone. I'm really watching this 101 area for another close above. Other than that, the trend is still down, but I'm paying attention to 101. Crude, trying to hold. Remember, we start breaking above this. This could be something to watch for intraday crude traders above this 71.40, 71.50 area. If there's any momentum, 73 is an intraday quick pop target. And then about 73.65. With a follow through above 73 then on a closing basis, then we could actually retest the 200 area again. Now, it really needs to get some momentum above this 71.50, so it's not a buy from my perspective yet, as it could still roll over because there's key resistance there, but just keeping an eye on natty gas. There you go. I'm considering first target hit. 252.4, the high was 251.8. That's close enough to raise a stop from my perspective. So this moved sideways, retested the key, remember, between the peak and the candle bodies. I watched for that. Closed back up on Thursday. Friday, continued to push higher, and today. So the first target has definitely hit from my perspective in natty gas. Gold is getting overextended and very overbought, but no topping pattern yet. The key support I'm watching is on a pullback to 26.10, 26.12 area. Silver has not been able to sustain anything yet above this massive resistance zone, which has been in place since May. 31.97 is still the short-term magnet price. Copper stalling out here. It's interesting as it's sort of sideways corrected. Going to be keeping an eye on this, especially if we start breaking above 440, because then the target I would be utilizing would be about 456. What else? The Yenster looks like it's trying to get a longer term bottoming formation into a weaker yen. Going to be keeping an eye on this. It's trading against very key resistance. But nothing major yet. You got cycles at the top. So we could at least see a pullback, but I'll be watching for a stronger bottoming formation there. Not much to talk about yet with Ethereum, unless it gets above this 2820 area. Spiders. If right now we still have a gap left behind to Thursday's close, 570.98. So that's on any first target to the upside. That's the one I'd utilize. Then would be Thursday's high, and then right around that little harmonic cluster. And then if we break through that, 578.88. The on a rollover play, we have a gap up this morning, so 568.25 would be to Friday's close, and then your major support level coming in about 564.50. The Qs just stalling out. No, this is not a double top. It's just two tops. It still would make the lows from the 6th of September very key, but it's not. You can't trade it as a double top. Still, the next key price on the Qs should it rally is 493.51. I'll be paying attention before that to Thursday's high at 486.23. The key short-term support at this point is 476 to 476.25. Other things, NVIDIA, still a little lopsided. You still have a potential. This might be wiped out today with this little mini potential double top, but has not been able to close back above the 62.5. I'm still paying close attention to NVIDIA this week. I am paying close attention to Apple, which is now triple topped on the daily. On the weekly, it still works as a double because this is still did not correct. It's triple top on the daily, but still on the weekly, it's fine. Now, in this one, if you did break below on the daily basis, you have this double with inside a triple. So 213.92 would be key for me to watch on a daily basis should Apple also roll over. Not saying it will, just that's the key level I'm watching. What else? I think that's really about it today. We can peek at Tesla. Tesla still dinking around. We're going to get the quarterly delivery figures in overall just over a week, and then you have their robo taxi day. But the magnet price still technically, due to probabilities, since it did close above the 62.5, is still minors 248.75, majors 259.88, and it's supported by the daily rotation zone. So in the short term, the price action is still leading higher. What would put me on guard in the short term is back if it closes below the trend line and the daily rotation zone, right about 225 area. All right. That's where we sit today. Nothing else to talk about. So remember, this is the weeks. Got some backloaded data. You have the S&P Composite PMI and services 15 minutes after the cash open. That's really, and then we got a little more Fed speak. Other than that, quiet day trading. So I will talk to everyone tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful trading day and a wonderful trading week. Remember, also daily cycles are still at the top on the equities, and weekly have re-entered the top, re-entering the top area. Now the trend is still up, but just be cautious, especially going into later this week. With that, I shall talk to everyone later. Bye for now.